What's up, everybody? Welcome to Sideline to Baseline with your host, MB is in the building and Klew, man. What's going on,
Hey,
y'all?
woo.
Listen, man, it's been an exciting week as usual. Calm down after Tommy Terrific won the Super Bowl, MB, and just shucks, getting off of that high that seems like sports goes to. You know, we had them Lakers go ahead and do their thing. And then Alabama came in and just spanked everybody. And then you still riding that wave. And then the NFL culminates with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Super Bowl. And you seem like you're at the pinnacle. And now we're kind of coming back down, MB, starting to relax, being able to kind of look around and see what other sports are going on. Obviously, NCAA is going on right now, but it's just not that exciting, y'all. This has kind of been a down year for NCAA, of course, because them Blue Devils ain't in the
Yeah,
building.
that's what I was about to say. You buy because those Blue Devils ain't hitting on nothing, you know.
Nothing.
You know,
We ain't hitting on nothing, LB.
so you're saying it's down because of that, baby. No, this is when y'all get excited in Duke, baby, when basketball season come along.
Well, let's be real. We don't get excited to March time. when it count. We you know what I'm saying? You remember that standard stuff you was speaking of, MB? Remember that standard stuff?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no doubt.
So we don't care about no regular season, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, I understand.
It's straight postseason or bust.
No doubt.
So,
Yeah, no doubt.
So the difference at our school, you talk about basketball. It's either we won the whole thing or we ain't play.
Championship or bust, baby.
So you know, like they did us in LA last year, championship or bust, like you just said, AD, and you know what though, MB, getting on this basketball, man, they dogged us out, MB. They said championship or bust. And I'd be darned if everybody, I feel like everybody's still getting the Clippers every excuse in the world for why they just trash. And, you know, here they go, hanging around again, hanging around top three in the West. And still, you know, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George obviously took a huge hit to his superstardom or ego or relevance as a superstar, whatever you want to call it. But Kawhi Leonard, man, he's the money guy. He's the guy that y'all were, you know, certain guys were saying the best two-way player in the game. And then also some even bumped their head and said he was better than LeBron, and he gets zero flack, MB. He just flies under the radar like it's not, like it ain't nothing.
What do you mean flying the radar?
As if, you know how LeBron, let's say we would have lost, AD would have took it on the chin. LeBron, oh, he really is washed up. Think about the year before when we didn't even make the playoffs. Think about how LeBron all last year, his theme was hashtag washed up. Everybody forgot that everybody, you know, a ton of people were saying he's on his downside or on his downward turn or he's reached the pinnacle of his career and now he's on the back end, you know, the back nine. That was just a year before the championship, MB, when we had all the young guys. Before we made the trade for Anthony Davis. Now all of a sudden, he's the king again. All's good. We should win again. He's, you know, again, the Jordan conversation is back in play. And Kawhi Leonard is like, you know, because this is a guy that was portraying himself to be the king. You don't remember that New Balance commercial? He ride in the old school, ride through LA, this my city. And then he had a king charm dangling down by the radio, man. What happened to all that? I need for y'all to give that same energy. Hashtag washed up to Kawhi Leonard. And that's why I mean he's flying under the radar, because no matter what he does, it's good enough.
Wow.
So that's really my opinion. And you know how it is in football, MB. You switch it up. Tom Brady would have lost. Tom Brady lost the game. Think about it. Mahomes got shut out. You see what I mean? Like, it wasn't Kansas City got shut out. Mahomes got shut out.
Right.
Take it on the chin.
Right.
Kawhi Leonard, they attacked Paul George like he was the guy.
Yeah, I get. Well, I guess.
He's not the dude.
Like, yeah. Well, I think what happens is, just my assumption is, just perception is reality, and just the way. Besides that chain that you brought up in the commercial, Kawhi just quietly goes about his business, and so I think because of that, just his overall demeanor, as opposed to LeBron, I mean, he's he don't mind, getting in that conversation that he feel like when he won a championship in Cleveland, that made him the GOAT, So I think because of that, and then also it's the Lakers, baby. So it's the standard of the Lakers when you put on that jersey and the standard is set. And then I remember he came in and something did something and somebody painted over a mural. They did some crazy stuff because like it was like, this is Kobe City, and so he had to earn the loyalty from the Lakers fans. So it's LeBron, man. You're gonna get that pressure, man, just because the standard he set.
Well, I'm not.
Kawhi's new to the ball game in regards to.
He's not new.
No. Listen to me. He new to the ball game in regards to. When he won with the San Antonio Spurs,
then
wasn't a household name like LeBron. It's LeBron James, man.
And he won with the Raptors as well.
He won with the Raptors. That's what I'm saying. When I say new to the ball game, he's new to the set of standard where LeBron been there for years, and he's been in the crossfire for years. And like I said, because of the demeanor of Kawhi, I think that plays in it. It's no different with Steph Curry, right? Because of his demeanor, his personality, his persona, he don't take the heat, or the people don't come at him like they come at LeBron.
Yeah, except for they haven't. He was supposed to be taking the mantle, though. Steph's never been mentioned in that conversation.
Who?
They were talking Kawhi moving ahead of LeBron. This is just not last year, but the year he won it. The year he was in Toronto, LeBron was allegedly passing the torch. The game had, Kawhi's the new guy because he hit the big shot.
You're asking me a question why they ain't going at Kawhi, and I answer that question saying maybe because his personality, because as opposed to LeBron personality and his perception, either you love LeBron or hate LeBron. So he's been public enemy number one for a longer period of time. And then that's why, so I answered that question. So Kawhi, so that's why I was trying to give you was asking like, what you think the reason? And I just gave you my reason. And then also with Paul George being there, PG is more of the sidekick in the sense of the targets. He's an easier target to attack. I mean, somebody just wrote a book about when PG came to the Clippers, how I offended him and what he said, and that was fire for the Lakers to win. You know what I'm saying? So you got PG that's also taking a lot of heat, right? And so he taking the heat off of Kawhi. So I was just answering that question as far as what the public say. Kawhi ain't say, okay, I'm taking it from LeBron. He didn't say none of that.
He bought into it with that chain, MB.
Well, he could have, but that's what I'm saying. And that's what I say. That's what I say. Other than that chain, I mean,
hey,
I'm trying to give you a reason.
MB,
what's your reason? I gave you my reason. What's your thoughts?
He was basically saying he Debo. That's my chain, punk. That's what he told
I'm
LeBron.
just saying though, what's the answer to your question? And since you asked
You
the
didn't
question,
heard me.
huh?
Because with that chain, he snatched it off LeBron's neck and said, "That's my chain, punk."
No, I'm asking. You still ain't asking your question. You're asking why Kawhi ain't taking a lot of heat. You know, they didn't make the championship. Da da da. He ain't taking a lot of heat. So, what's your thoughts with that? Because you
I've
the one
never
saying
seen.
he
No,
basically said, "Give me the chain, bro."
I've never seen anything like it. I have no answer for it. I've never seen Charles Barkley not get dumped on for not winning the finals. You know, when he had that, when he picked up the entire Phoenix Suns team and took them with him. I never saw, you know, Magic Johnson not getting the blame for making a turnover, losing the championship in NBA Finals. I never seen it before because Isaiah Thomas still to this day gets ridiculed for walking off the court when they lost to Chicago Bulls in East Conference Final. Like I've never seen this before, LB.
You never seen.
I've never seen that guy that lost, that got upset, the star of that team not get dunked on. I've never seen it, so I can't answer it. It's just it's amazing to me.
That's why I gave you my opinion, and
So
then
that's why I just ran through three,
then
four.
on top of that, when you take last year in account as well, all right, based on last season, it was other bigger stories. You had Paul George, him choking, all right, if he's gonna show up, he's the other superstar. Then you had Doc Rivers take a lot of heat based on how you got a lead and you let the team come back and win the series. So those guys end up being the fall guy because Kawhi, for the most part, came ready to play every day, every way. So he became more like a victim where people felt sorry for him because it's like, man, where's his help? Where's Lou Williams? Where he ain't got no help. This and that, you know. So he became more sympathetic. They had more sympathy for him because he don't talk noise in the what you call him, and he was playing hard. But the storyline became, where is his help? You know, where is his help?
They'll say that about James Harden. No, again, I'm not challenging you to answer my question. I'm just pointing out. I'm pointing out that this is not done for anybody else. James Harden still getting ridiculed. like you know, Charles Barkley named him and Kyrie the Dribble Brothers. You know what I'm saying? Going out there.
Yeah. I just think it's based on it happens occasionally because there's some people out there that can't do no wrong. You know,
right? And well, that's my argument though. I really haven't seen this before.
Well, only like I mean, Kawhi took some heat when they was talking about managing his numbers and all that stuff. You know, he was taking some heat from that because people was like, "Oh man, what he not gonna play no more? He's superstar." Especially what happened with San Antonio, that led to him being traded. He go to Toronto Raptors, and he took some heat in the beginning for that. But then what happened when he ended up winning a championship? They was like, "Oh, manage his numbers all day. If that's what it takes, let's get it done." So he has taken some heat in the past. But for me, last year, I think you had too big. You had other storylines that took the heat off of him. That with the other guys that to me that took the heat, where it took the heat off him, where that pressure wasn't on him like that. Because Doc Rivers fell, Lou Pepper, Lou Williams, Pete, Paul G. I mean Beverly. You had a lot of cast of characters on that team that took a lot of heat and had a lot of different storyline, in my opinion.
Well, that's a beautiful thing, a beautiful situation to be in, and to be a part of, be the guy on your team, and not have to worry about any of the heat and take all the credit for all the wins.
But you agree with it? He took some heat when he first about managing his numbers and stuff. You saying he never took heat, or you just saying when he went to the Clippers, he haven't taken any heat?
No, so first of all, the San Antonio thing, everybody knows that was a debacle. They blew that. Okay, that was a complete San Antonio Spurs debacle. They're from head coach Popovich all the way to the training staff as well as the doctors. They blew that. Like, so yes, he was taking heat, but it was unwarranted and it shouldn't have happened because you and I both know. But guys say he hurt, he hurt.
But it was a question mark though, because they thought, okay, because I remember, if I'm not wrong, if I'm correct or wrong, like he at one point they, especially when they was like, well, he should be healthy enough to go. Well, go ask him. It's almost like it became a point where they made it seem like he didn't want to play, that he was healthy, but he didn't want to play. I remember those storylines came out as the longer went on, especially with Popovich, how his personality is, you know?
Right. But then as he moved over to Toronto,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It was already set in stone that you're trading for me, and this is what you're trading for.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
So then he wins free agency, and then he wins the NBA title. He goes into free agency, and it was already told whoever is trying to get me to come there, this is the way it's going to be. So
no doubt.
So once it goes to Toronto and once he goes into free agency, it's no longer his problem. It's the team's problem if they accept it.
Right, but I'm saying to get to that point, right? As you talk about, to get to that point, he had to go through something. It's almost like, you know, we talk about Dr. King and how he's celebrated right now as far as what he did with civil rights. But to get to that point, right, he was like enemy number one. You know, he was considered a common.
He didn't take heat like that, MB.
No, hear me out. I'm saying, well, obviously no heat like the King. But
No. But I'm saying even like LeBron took heat for making his decision, bro.
Bro, LeBron, that's what I'm saying. You can't listen. And that's what I'm saying from the beginning. LeBron been public enemy number one since high school, bro.
Okay.
Hey, you can't even compare LeBron to Kawhi. I don't care.
He's not taking the heat, Kyrie. He's not taking the heat, Kyrie. He's just never taken the heat that Kyrie is taking right now. He didn't take the heat that Kevin Durant took for going to Golden State. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just, I'm not trying to say, you know, I can't answer why. I'm just telling you what is.
No, and I'm telling you, the only heat that I remember him taking was when he went through the San Antonio thing, and then it has some residue when he went to Toronto because they was treating him like a prima donna. But once he won that championship and came ready to play, it was like, oh yeah, hey, this is how it's gonna be. Like, he had to fight. What I'm saying, that didn't come. They didn't just check the mark like, Kawhi, you're fine. That was probably the first time, like you're saying, the only time he took some heat, right? Because he was one of those kids. So to me, that it obviously is not the level of LeBron, and it's a whole different level with those guys.
But I just named two other guys not named LeBron. But he wasn't even like.
And to me, it's based on the personality, whatnot. I'm just assuming because Kawhi Leonard, his demeanor. When you look at Kyrie and you look at
Kevin Durant,
and those are very personality-wise, they're very outspoken. They're different dudes, man.
Okay. Well, they're way more outspoken than him. If you compare.
And that's how the media is, you know. Perception is reality.
Correct. You know? Yeah. Well, moving right along, man. There's a lot of stuff going on in politics, and story just came out. I mean, it came out during the Capitol riot. I think it was like 2 or 3 days after MB that I read the story the first time. But an two-time Olympic gold medal swimmer, Klaet Keller, was indicted on 7 different charges on Thursday in connection with his alleged involvement in the riots at the U.S. Capitol. So this story actually broke about 2, maybe 3 days later, MB, after everybody, you know, went to Tekashi 6ix9ine. When they start watching everybody Facebook, man, that Leroy. Man, that John right there, that Jacob. Man, that's Joseph right there. Boy, I know that look anywhere. Well, it was hilarious, MB, because his teammates and coaches from the USA Olympic team actually reported him, MB. They saw him on camera breaking in the Capitol, and they were like, that's Kleet right there. And what helped him out, no, that was definitely Kleet. MB had on his Team USA Olympic jacket on, rushing the Capitol. So why does this make our show? What's important about this? Soon as when I read this story this morning, MB, the thing that hit me square in the front of my mind, not the back, the front of my mind was, dang, Kaepernick lost his job because he kneeled. This dude rushing the Capitol, right? And he's looked at by a large portion of the country as a patriot, MB. I mean, if you look at any of those Capitol riot videos, they considering themselves patriots. They taking their country back, and Kleet was right with them, man. And wearing his Team USA jacket, you know he had to feel some type of pride about what he's doing. And so I was just sitting back, MB, and I said, this is unbelievable. When you look at two different tales of the tape, and I said the question that came to mind was, why is kneeling for a flag a problem, but destroying the fabric of what the flag embodies, why is that cool, MB?
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you say that from from a small vantage point, when people feel like they're taking the country back, that's just the perception that's still a minority. You know what I'm saying? Point of view from that standpoint. Like,
no, I think we mistaken to say it's a minority that's looking at it like that, because those same folks keep saying 74 million people behind them. That's like their talking point.
Yeah, but to me, if like when you talk about, I know Mike Tyson said this thing: fame without fortune is a fool, right? And so what I'm saying in this regards to, here he goes, where if he feel like they have power and that much power, then nothing was going to happen to him, you know? But right now, like you see, like to me, like stuff is happening to him. And stuff is like, whether it goes down, like I think Double A hit it, talking about the impeachment and stuff like that. You know, right now, people are frowning upon those stuff, you know? And even though, like you said, they communicated, they're promoting it like, oh, we're patriotism, with all this stuff. But right now, I think the tide is shifting, as we saw, because now that stuff been definitely frowned upon, you know? So he's paying for it right now.
I guess what bothers me is when I look at it and I think, you know, that Kaepernick was looked down upon at all, MB, as if this isn't the right time and this isn't the correct method, and this is not the right way to protest. But yet an Olympic gold medalist, a two-time Olympic gold medalist, felt like this is exactly how you're supposed to protest. And then I feel so sure about this that I'm going to wear America on me while I do it.
Well, first of all, like the whole Kaepernick, just like I was saying about Kawhi, and I mentioned about Dr. King, right? How in the beginning when they fight something, like they was the villains and they had to push through to endure, right, some stuff. And now Dr. King, he got a holiday named after him, but what it cost him his life. And I mean, and so with Kaepernick, right, it's the same thing. During that time, right, yeah, majority of America or whatever, right, it was frowned upon to take a knee. And then now, right, but he went through something, and then now the time frame now is like people are sensitive to it, and they're aware, or like my daughter like to say, they're woke to the social injustice because of everything that happened. And so now it's more sensitivity to it, right? Is it still like flip the other way? No. But at least more people, more hands on deck, more people are aware of what's going on. And so now they're like, we understand, right? We're woke to it. We understand. Now they're singing, lift every voice and sing and all this stuff. They're more aware to what's going on. Now this guy here, though, that's what I'm saying. Even though this dude here with that, right? To me, it's the minority of it, right? And the reason began when you talk about American flag, right? It's almost like when you look at the American flag, man, it's like make America great again. It's almost like they took it and rebranded it to make it a Confederate flag. So the fact that he's wearing American flag and whatnot, to me, don't mean that's the majority, because those people that did that, right? There too many people came out to like, this is wrong. Nobody really came out and said, other than them speaking for themselves, validating what they did. Like, oh yeah, it's great. No, this thing is been frowned upon. People are speaking against it, and they're now in the minority trying to fight to say, yeah, make America great again. Go ahead.
Well, I guess when you look at it though, in those charges, I still haven't seen any thought of as being a terrorist act, and so the charges are weak at best. The charges that we're seeing brought upon them, and so I just think, I guess I'm a pessimist when I look at this. I don't see the change that you do.
Well, I'm just saying, though, like you're saying that it's not. I guess when I hear you saying like Kaepernick, obviously, right, it ended up costing him his career, right? Right? He paid a big price for it, right? And I guess you're saying what, you don't see the same type of punishment being done to this dude?
No, I'm looking at him and saying the same America that basically spat on Colin Kaepernick, that same portion of America lifted this guy up and made him bold enough to make this action. Because mixed in, to not get so political, but mixed in were politicians as well. So that rushed the Capitol as well. But we're kind of sticking to the sports guy. But some things, there's a big enough portion or section of society that emboldened him to do that and made him feel that it was okay, and made him feel so okay that he took what was precious to him, put it on his back, and walked and stormed the Capitol with. You know what I mean? MB, that's
I understand what you're saying.
I think the symbolism to me, is crazy. And maybe I'm looking too deep into it, but I'm thinking like you taking your most precious garment and you going to battle with it. That battle is super important to you. That means a lot to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just ain't no walk in the park. I'm going to go hang out.
Yeah. I see it, but I don't know. Like when I turn on TV, right? Other than that small percentage voice, nobody really was applauding. Other than that group speaking for themselves, what they were doing. A lot of, if we talk about mass America, mass media, right? They were all frowning upon that. But obviously, like you said, the terms.
I don't know if we all. Okay, yeah. So we're
you understand what I'm saying? I'm like,
I think it's more like bad boy. I mean, I don't see any outrage. I'll tell you that. And watch this. No, I don't see any.
Depends on who you're listening to. I guess.
I don't see any outrage. I see, the political gymnastics that's happening right now. Let's ignore that. And then let's just say everyday persons, are you hearing people talking about this at all? But was this not a constant conversation with Colin Kaepernick? Yes, it was. It's not even remotely close. Like, yeah,
Okay.
if you turn on the news, yeah, wall to wall. But I'm talking about Colin Kaepernick made it to your kitchen table. He made it to your neighbor's house. People walked up on you, MB, that knew your background, and weren't necessarily close to you, and asked, "Man, how do you feel about this?" Who walked up to you talking about Kaepernick?
Well,
It's not a constant conversation like that was, and I don't get it.
well, for me, I agree with that in the sense of because you had basically a hand select of people, right? Colin Kaepernick that kind of started a movement to do that, right? And so then now he became the scapegoat for it. This other movement, right, where stormed the White House, right, the Capitol, excuse me, had so many different involvements, but the main guy was Donald Trump, right? And so the attention went on him, and I think that was the straw that broke the camel back because even his own people was like, wait a minute, we're going too far, you know? So from that standpoint, so you're right, it's one guy versus that guy plus many other followers. You know what I'm saying?
Which actually should make it more of a conversation.
But you don't think it's a conversation? But this is what I'm saying, though. You don't think it's a conversation between what Kaepernick is did? Obviously, we said it's a conversation what Cap did, but you don't think it's a conversation what Trump did? Like, because he's been the guy.
Again, like you said, what you said to me is that you said it depends who you're listening to, who you're watching. And I'm saying cancel that. How many conversations did you have about Colin with regular people? That's what I'm talking about. When I say regular people, I'm just saying people around you. Like, that's where that conversation was had. You're not having that same conversation right now.
Klew, I think as far as this sport guy with that sport, by no means, like Cat was by himself. He started a movement, right? But I think conversation, normal people are talking about what happened on the Capitol as far as, and they're pointing fingers at Donald Trump, and they was like, da, 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 he created it. So I think people are talking about it, you know?
Okay.
You know, but I understand what you're saying. You're saying, like, with Cap, as far as what he did, it was like, oh yeah, he took the bullet for it. He took all that.
He took the flag and pissed on it, MB, allegedly. And then this guy is literally taking the flag and destroying everything the flag is talking about. And yet we're not going to have that conversation.
Oh, yeah, because we're
not going to have that conversation.
And I think, Klew, because this guy is one of those he's the aftermath. He ain't started this. He not a fire starter. Like Cap started a movement. This guy just tagging along. He's the what you call it? He's the people, like he's not the main character. What you call the people in the movie that they behind the scenes? He's not even a stunt man. He's the extra, right? Even though he's a two-time Olympic, the focus ain't on him. He ain't Denzel Washington. He ain't the focus on the movie. This movie right here, right? Cap was the focus of his movie. He was the main character. This movie right here, storming the Capitol now. Donald Trump
Kaepernick,
character to what
Kaepernick at best was, you know, the bottom of the starter barrel at the point he was doing that, and he wasn't even starting, by the way.
Who?
Like I don't know why he wasn't as big, if not bigger, but I guess that's a whole nother conversation because Kaepernick wasn't a name.
What you say? Who?
Kaepernick wasn't a name.
Who, Cap?
To who, MB? He was a second string quarterback at the point of that. He had took him to the Super Bowl 2 years prior.
Right. He
lost his job. He was trying to figure out where he was gonna play next. Because that's the crazy part. Remember where he didn't pick up that option, which freed them, and then he never played again. However, you and I both know he was gonna go somewhere else to maybe compete for a starting job, but he was definitely not walking in to anywhere else as a starter. I
Yeah,
don't think we would real.
Yeah, I mean, but do you think that more so with what happened or just his ability from what you saw as far as he started declining?
Now, if we're having a conversation, should he have been in the league? I think that's an easy one. Yes, he
Oh,
should
yeah,
have been.
no doubt, no doubt.
But that's not the conversation I'm having. I'm just saying he wasn't a name. You're kind of comparing him. He grew because of this. He became a name because of this, MB.
Well, no cap. Well, I think no doubt he became a global name because of this. But I think Cap, because he went to the Pro Bowl, he led him to the Super Bowl. Even though he started declining, he had somewhat a name. He was considered, but he wasn't.
Carson Wentz is a name too, then. So Carson Wentz is a name too. Carson Wentz is a name too. Okay, well, just so we're on the same page.
But what I'm saying, you're right though. When he went through this, it took him to it went to a whole different level.
I think why I was shocked is because you were saying like this guy ain't nobody but Cap is, and I'm like, oh wait.
No, what I was saying to you is no, hear me clearly. I was saying to you in this movie, right? Because of what the Cap was the main.
Okay, yeah.
That's what I said. I said this guy is an extra. He's a tag along. He's a pawn in the game, just being used. The main pawn or the king or the queen is Donald Trump.
Well, watch this, LB. We on a sports show, baby. So we gonna take the sports guy, and make him the main event. So that's where that was coming from.
Oh yeah, that's why I said it's like Cap. That's why I'm saying what he went through during that time. I mean, it was not people are woke to what's going on, and when I'm talking people, white America woke to it with what happened, and so now they're supporting it. So now that's the shift that took place. But he had to go through something. That's what I was saying to get through that. He became in the main spotlight.
Well, I'm glad
because you took American sport and you took the lead, huh?
I'm glad you feel that way because that leads right into our next story to talk about how woke folks
this the lowdown.
Right? yeah.
That's why I thought this is a lowdown.
Hey, oh yeah, MB, you know I was super close to writing the whole thing. You can feel it. So Urban Meyer, the man of the year, man of the Mr. Wonderful in Jacksonville, just brought his boy Chris Doyle, the longtime head strength coach at the University of Iowa, will serve as Jacksonville's director of sports performance. It's Doyle's first job since he and Iowa parted ways in June under tumultuous circumstances, including allegations of racism. Ha! So right when you said they woke, MB, they bring in a strength coach who was finally let go because LaFrance, remember the Iowa head football coach, Iowa, had an investigation, an external investigation to go through their athletics, specifically football program, and take head-on accusations from both the head strength and conditioning coach and the actions of LaFrance. And LaFrance kept the strength coach all the way through. And then Iowa finally said, look, you ain't going to fire him, we getting rid of. And Irving said, you know what? That looks like a great hire. So right when you say they woke, I don't necessarily know. And it just brings me to thinking again and again. So first of all, you're just getting a new job. You're trying to start off on the right foot. You got a guy with some baggage and some major baggage to guys who, when he go into that locker room, it ain't Iowa. They don't look like him. Majority of the guys that's going to be playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars don't look like this guy, Chris Doyle.
Duval County, baby.
And they're pros. They're not taking none of that. And they done read the articles already, so they sit there like double dutch. Boy, I can't wait till he try me. It's a ignorant hire, MB. I don't know what Urban Meyer is thinking about, and he's asking for unnecessary trouble.
Well, I mean, it fits the conversation that we had about the other day about Andy Reid hiring his son. You know, and it fits the conversation that we had about, you as far as you tolerate him till you can replace him, and if you still bring value to the team, like we talked
He
about.
ain't bringing no value. He can't kick no field goals.
Bro,
he can't catch no balls.
Hold on, listen. Hey, and just like Irving said, right? This guy was doing performance development before there was performance development. And in Irving eyes, right? Proper preparation prevents poor performances, right? When the time for war has come, the time to prepare is lost. And so when you talk about preparing the team, which Irving understands from a physical standpoint, right? You got to make sure your guys in shape and top shape, whatnot. So far as what Irving is, no, listen to me. As far as what Irving is talking about in his eyes, right? He feel like this dude is the I don't know what to be right term. Donald Trump of performance and performance, right? He got a 20-year relationship, so and he said we vetted him, so he did something where he feel comfortable about it.
MB, are you serious? The fact that
I'm telling you what the man said. When you act like I'm saying it, that's what he said out of his mouth.
This is the NFL. Remember that? Okay. Yeah. Listen, first of all, training when MB. He must see this. I see now why some college coaches come to the NFL and immediately struggle. Because somebody ain't gave them the rules and the memo of how long you think y'all gonna have these guys? Only have to make 75% of your workouts to get your check. Like, what part is like jokers ain't gonna show up? They don't want to. Some jokers don't even come at all to off-season condition. And then when we do come, it's only so many hours you can keep us. So all this stuff you got planned, you ain't got time for. Because we ain't coming but 4 days a week, and that's your 100% guys. That's your 100% guys. That's coming 4 days a week, and you ain't gonna have them there longer than 2 hours. Good luck with that. I don't see how this sports performance is gonna help at all. This ain't college where you got them all day. They gotta go through workouts with this guy. Y'all ain't talking to the kids, or essentially, and practicing with the kids. But the strength coach got them all day. That ain't the deal, bro. So all that you think's gonna help, it's not.
Hey, Klew, listen. Like I said, I understand what you're saying, right? I'm just telling you what he said while we just had a conversation about, Andy Reid hiring his son, and we're trying to figure that out. And I told you beforehand, like, hey, somebody had to sign off on it. The owner, everybody, right? And for Irving, like, when I made that decision, no. But I'm telling you what he said. He got a relationship with this guy 20 years, right? He been knowing him at Utah. So he feel like this guy give the best chance. Like, is that a good move? No. But I just told you why he made the move based on what he said. Right. See what he said it.
But you just finished talking about the last segment about someone being woke. And that's what I'm saying. They're woke. And I'm saying Urban still sleep.
Yeah. Oh no. Now hold on. When I say they woke,
he's still unnecessary turmoil. As a matter of fact, there's still a guy that went to Iowa that plays for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
No doubt, it's one guy. Right.
You don't want to bring unnecessary division, unnecessary chatter. You want. You know the whole saying, everybody on the same page, one band, one sound, one focus, one voice, all that kind of stuff, bro. You throwing all that synergy into the wind. when you're doing that.
Yeah.
Because now you got us saying, man, this dude, man, and I in a situation with Irving, I've never heard from a player standpoint that played for him, never heard anything negative about him. But now you're going to be associated with that, bro. That's the thing, LB.
Yeah. Hey,
like I was telling you, you say I'm a good hire, and I go there and start acting a donkey. Boy, MB, they gonna be looking at you. Look at your boy, man. You gonna be like, oh, I ain't know. Hey, man, Klew, come here, man. Let me talk to you. and yeah, you talking to me because I know you, and you love me anyway. So you'll be talking to me to help me. But at the same time, you also gonna be like, look, man. Remember, I brought you here. Don't do me like this either. You know what I'm saying, MB? And that's what's going on. Like you done put your name on that guy. That guy can't fart. His fart can't stink too much, MB. You know what I'm saying? If his fart stink too much, they're gonna blow it up around there in Jacksonville, man.
Hey, Klew, I totally agree with you saying. I was just giving you the why behind it because he feel like that dude give him the best chance to win. Just like Double A say, win, baby, is all that matters in the NFL. Irving is like, hey, man, this dude, I feel like give me the best chance to win, right? Right, wrong, and different. Do I agree with it? No, because I mean, you can. It's a lot of other qualified strength coach out there that could get that done. But then it's back to what I said in the other show, right? It's about some dudes, right? They take you off their board if there's a character issue. They don't want to deal with it. Other dudes, it's like, man, if you can help me win, I'm gonna deal with it. And Irving must feel like this guy can help him win, put him in the best position to win based on everybody else that was out there. And so he's taking this unnecessary risk, man.
Right. And that's what I definitely believe it'll be. It's definitely an unnecessary risk. And one that, man, like go out there, start with a bang, win first, Double A, then slide some fools in there. Because now you got some credibility if you really want to jump off the deep end. But right now, your team is effectively judging you by who you bring. And I'm just telling you, that's going to play a role, man. Because also, MB, what a lot of people may not realize is that's the guy we're around pretty much the most.
Well, now you contradicting yourself because you say, well, they ain't around them that much no more.
No. What I'm saying is, early on, you ain't even talking to your coaches pretty much. Like you having conversations, but you really ain't in the rooms having meetings and stuff like that during all season conditioning. You just conditioning. So you going there, you may go up and holler at your coach or something like that, but you really seeing them every day. For the 3-4 days you're gonna decide to come a week, and then you gone, or you watching film, but you still not seeing your coaches that much. You're gone. So that's what I mean when I say you're seeing him, the most. It's just because of the situation. It's not like, what I mean, even if you're not there that long, if you come there for an hour and it's still an hour with him.
Yeah, I mean, for me, that strength program, obviously it's not like college, but NFL is still important, especially when you get more in season as well. But definitely, I definitely understand what you're saying. That to me was like, man, you didn't have to do that hire, right? Why you made that move? And then when, like I said, based on his talk, he felt like this guy was the guru of performance. So it's back to that thing about, hey, man, if a risk versus reward, and I feel, man, the reward outweighs the risk, and I'm like, man, that's not something I would take. And then he mentioned about this vetting process, and I'm like, vetting process? Like, we vetted him, and I'm like, what? How do you vet for racism? Like, do you send him to Magic City and see if he orders some wings or something? Like, how you vet him? Like, how do you vet to see if he changed?
He woke.
Yeah, how he woke? Like what? Like
you
I said,
You said people are woke nowadays.
Yeah, people are woke. I ain't saying. Hold on. I said people are woke, and that's the biggest difference that you see now between Cap Time and now is that we had on show like dudes, white America are woke, and they're helping, they're supporting. Not everybody's woke, because if they were everybody woke, we wouldn't have what we had at the Capitol, right? Because you got a nation divided, the Trump followers, whatnot, that, and then this followers. So you still got a clear division. Yeah, a big number of people are woke to it, but it's still some people sleepwalking that ain't trying to see it.
Yeah, and Irving's a sleepwalker, MB.
Yeah.
Irving got to be a sleepwalker. And that's why, again, I said this is a great transition, because you just said folks woke. And
hey, are you denying that? Let me ask you a question.
Right here.
Are you? Yeah, he's zombie. Are you denying? Well, yeah, you're not denying. Yeah, he's a zombie. You said there's still some zombies out there, right? Is that what you said? You said there's still some zombies.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because there's no way you could be reading the tea leaves of society and where it's heading, and in your sport, you ain't listen, bro.
Right, no doubt.
He ain't no hockey coach, MB. Okay.
Yeah, no doubt.
Bottom line, he ain't a NASCAR, what you call the head guy of the team.
Yeah.
You ain't in NASCAR.
Yeah, I mean, the reward, the risk wasn't worth the reward. 74%
of the NFL black folk. Yeah. Okay. Irving, that ain't what you want. And see, to me, that cries out again, MB, need more black folk in leadership, because decisions like this would never happen.
I just want to know about this vetting process, though. How do you vet somebody from that? How do you did he go to a sensitive training? What vetting? Because he said we vet.
You saw what I put.
I'm just asking you, but I'm asking you.
Off the chain now, boy. And
what's the vetting?
MB, I tried to look up. Did he go check himself in? Because you remember that was the thing to do too, boy. They'll check in for some counseling.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, is there like, what do you? I'm just saying, what do you vet? I mean, how do you vet somebody? Like, what do you do now?
Hey, Double A say you I think he said you first impressions is the vetting process. I guess he asked him.
No, you send in a Waffle House. that ain't right, Double A. That's why I say maybe you send in the Magic City. I don't know what's the vetting process. You know?
Listen, it's unbelievable though, MB. I was just like, I was taken aback with this story, because I'm like, here I am. I'm rooting for Irving, MB. Think about it. You know what I mean? I'm thinking, man, he got a chance to flip. He got a chance to flip this thing, turn it around, especially if he trade this pick, try to get Deshaun. And let's go to that, MB. Deshaun Watson, you talked about today, J.J. Watts retired, got released from the Houston Texans, put out a heartfelt video that was widely accepted as he's still a great guy and a Texan for life. And now it gets to move on, MB, and try to find him a contender. So quickly, I guess, discuss both Deshaun and JJ possible teams, and just throwing out there, MB, where you think they land.
Well, I mean, with JJ, first of all, I mean, outstanding career, 10 years there, sack leaders, 3-time NFL Defensive Player of the Year, so it depends on what he won. I think, obviously, based on what usually happened, it's based on what he's looking for. I would think, he don't check a lot of boxes. Maybe he's trying to win a Super Bowl, pull a Tom Brady. So I don't know. So maybe contender, look and see what contenders out there. I think, first of all, usually what happens is the teams within your division, right, they try to come at you the hardest because you play them twice a year. So one team that, to me, that would definitely go hard at them, they need them, is Tennessee Titans because they need some pass rushers. And Vrabel was part of the Houston Texans staff. They run the same system, you know what I'm saying? So to me, that's definitely a spot. Then, just like Double A said, he could, he's a family guy. He could go out there and say, you know what, man, I just want to play with my brother. Let's go to Pitt. Let's get that done. And even though Pitt right now, their cap numbers is they got a tight cap. At this point, he was like, man, they're a contender. I get to play with my brother, so that's win-win across the board. So he could end up there. So those are my two choices as far as J.J. Watts is concerned.
Well, shucks, man. I think, obviously I agree with you and Double A both that Pittsburgh is definitely, a spot to talk about, obviously, because his brother's there. And like you said, they're reworking Big Ben's deal to free up some cap space, MB. That may be just the cap space that they need to sign a guy like that. So I agree with you guys. But when you look at him and you say, if he really wants to win, like I'm getting on the phone calling Kansas City personally. I'm getting on the phone calling the Super Bowl champs that just won it, the Bucks. Like, I ain't about to play with nobody now. If I'm gonna go at a ring, I'm gonna go at it. I ain't trying to help y'all build nothing. I want a ready-made and something that I can add a whole nother I can add my abilities to enhance what you already got. But what you already got better be a champion. I ain't trying to be LeBron to change the whole outlook of your program and make it a champion. I'm trying to go to play with LeBron. You see what I'm saying? So when I say that, I go straight to the top and I look at the two teams that just played for it. I look at, Sean Payton them going to New Orleans. I'm looking at teams at Green Bay. I'm looking at a team that y'all was right there. I ain't playing with nobody.
Yeah, no doubt. I agree.
So
but I think he's moving up that Pitt with his brother. Okay. I think both his brothers are there. I think his one brother played fullback, right? I think.
Right. I would love to see him in Kansas City, man.
Yeah, that'd be a good spot.
Bring a, because that's what they lack, and they've always lacked. And I laugh at their defense. That it'll be the entire year. I laugh at their defense. So I think he would bring some credibility there and bring a sense of, hey man, this ain't take Steve Spurrier out of the room. Defense is just what you do when y'all ain't on the field, because that's all they are over there. So right. I think if they could straighten that up and just be, decent, MB, stop you sometimes, because they only stop you if they turn you over around them. So I think he could really enhance to what they already got and make them, that much better.
Yeah, Double A says like their defense like laughing at Duke football.
Oh, what?
Double A, yeah, baby. Get him, Double A. Get him, Double A.
There we go, Double A.
we got his brother's a Pat Wagon. We got to come up with the name for Klew. Klew, hey. Bro, he try to get you fired. We got to come up with a name for him.
Well, look here. The last name still in Houston, it'll be Deshaun Watson. I know you mentioned a bit of a quarterback carousel going on, and you'll go and deal with that the next show. However, just preliminarily, where do you see Deshaun like floating around? Just float, 2 or 3 names that you can see him easily fitting into.
I mean, you brought it up earlier. Deshaun going to Jacksonville, I think that'll be good, but they're not going to make that move. I would be hesitant if they make that trade within the division, because they got to play them twice a year.
Right.
So that would be crazy. But Jacksonville got the draft capital to get it done, and especially right now, the fact which Houston Texans, man, to me, they about to rebuild. They got a lot of older guys on defense. You already traded Hopkins away the year before. Made some bad trades and whatnot. So, definitely. Let's see. What else would I go? Man, for him, I mean,
LA like the Dolphins.
Yeah, I heard the Dolphins mentioned.
He like Dallas or San Francisco. Everybody. AA got about 10 teams he going to.
Yeah. I mean, the Dolphins, they can make. I don't think that. They can make that, and and then get their draft picks back that they gave the Dolphins when they traded for Tunsil. The Dolphins got their draft picks, so they need some picks, and they're saying they're not going to draft them. So, Dolphins. I heard the Dolphins. I heard, like I said, Jacksonville. I'm just trying to think, get him to a move that put him in a great position. San Fran looks good.
Let me jump out there. I'm gonna say two teams that I'd love to see him playing for. I'm gonna go to our old team, MB. I'd love to see him go to New York, play with the Giants. He'd be immediately the face of the NFL. The other team, the LA Rams. He put them in the position to be right at the Super Bowl.
The Rams.
That'd be scared. That would be terrifying to watch him play in LA with the Rams.
The Rams, bro. They can't. They ain't make that trade.
I'm just saying. I said where I wish.
Bro,
I ain't saying
the Rams just got Matthew Stafford.
Again, MB, I'm saying what I would like to see him.
Bro,
not that it would happen.
You took that if was the fifth would be all drunk. You got a keg of that if with that one.
Look,
I'm thinking go ahead.
You already talking about the real life scenarios.
I'm thinking about realistic. I'm not thinking about no fantasy football. You went fantasy football on me.
Those some teams, right? Those some you
went clearly okay, I'm playing Madden. I'm about to make a super. Right. After they don't make that trade, I'm trying to be realistic. Okay.
And why would the Rams do that anyway, man?
Why would they do that anyway?
Yeah, why was that a great I mean, Matthew is who he is, man.
So you wouldn't trade. Well, they gave up a lot for him, first of all. But you wouldn't exchange Stafford for Jared Goff?
I would have been trying to go somewhere else. Listen, because Matthew, he's another guy on the back end of his career, man. He's went out there and done nothing. Only time we heard his name was when Calvin was a part of it.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they try to go after the son. They couldn't get him. Who knows?
Hey.
They had to get somebody.
He's another Matty Ice to me, man. Yeah, you know how I feel about that.
Ain't no Matty Ice. Matty Ice, man, getting it done, baby. Matty Ice leading that second tier group.
Yeah. Hey, right out of the playoffs every year.
Matty Ice went to the Super Bowl, man. Come on, man. They should have won it.
He did.
They should have won it, man.
Colin Kaepernick should have won it too.
Yeah, Matty Ice, man. Well, Janet Jackson, I think Janet Jackson lights went off, and so that created a delay on that.
Okay.
Yeah, that threw him off. Yeah, that threw the 49ers had that momentum, and then Janet Jackson did I think it was Janet Jackson. Was it Janet Jackson or Beyonce? Somebody performed at halftime, so they had a delay.
Oh man,
that threw him off, man.
No, that wasn't Janet. Janet was back in our day.
So who that was? Beyonce? You remember that? You remember it was a delay at that Super Bowl? Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, no. So yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah, you went fantasy football.
I just want to see him. I want to see him in the lights, man. And I think he needs to get out of. He shouldn't get traded from a small market to a small market. You know, and I know Jacksonville would beat that, but I'm just saying that would be the best thing for Jacksonville. But you see, I didn't even throw their name out there.
Yeah.
I want to see him in the big time, MB.
Yeah. I want to see him with some playmakers around. He lead the league in pass this year, and they had a makeshift receiving core. Man, get him some playmakers, man.
Yeah, that always works for a guy like that. Well, we appreciate y'all, man, pulling up, stopping through, hollering at us because you know us, man. We will check y'all out Monday, MB. We gotta get you.
Man, here's the thing, man. We talking about dreams, stay woke, baby. I have my shirt on. We talking about woke.
Well, send that to Irving, man. Shoot. We appreciate y'all, man. We'll see y'all Monday night at 6. We'll holler.
Peace, fella.